Hello all my art-loving people out there, and perhaps people who love art-loving people. This is what I'm hoping is a very unique gift guide this year. I'm hoping there's things in here that you and the people you love have never seen before. So let's get started. Quick caveat before we get started, actually, I have gift guides for several previous years and I still stand by everything in those gift guides, and I'll put a link in the description box below so you can watch the other gift guides at the end of this video and get some more ideas, because I'm not including some of the things, most of the things in those gift guides actually are not in this video because this one's mostly unique. Even though this gift guide is geared more towards watercolor artists, there are a couple of things that I think most artists can enjoy in general. So let's start with this item. Most companies these days are now coming out with acrylic paint markers where you don't have to pump them. And if you've ever tried working with acrylic paint markers, you know that's a bit of a pain. So this is the Arrtx 120A set, and you literally just open them up and start using them. It's amazing. You don't even have to shake this one in particular, although you can. I don't hear any kind of ball in it for shaking it, so it is delightful. And I will actually have a video about this set in the next day or two released, so you'll be able to see them in action. But I just love that no pumping, no priming, you don't have big puddles on your artwork or your desk every time you go to use them. Arrtx is not the only company that is making these, but they have the biggest sets with the most colors right now. There are other ones. This is not the acrylic markers, but Ohuhu, this brand, makes some acrylic markers that you don't have to prime or pump. So that's really nice. This happens to be their paper-friendly water-based markers that I've been using for a little project, which you'll see on my channel eventually here too. Anyway, it's super fun. Either brand, any brand I would say that you could find where you don't have to prime them, but Arrtx is definitely the most popular, the most well-loved, and so I can definitely recommend those or Ohuhu because they're both great. Don't worry, I have all the unique things coming up. But if you have acrylic markers or any other type of markers, you might need a surface to put them on, and I have a very unique surface. This one I have probably shown, I'm not sure in gift guides, but it has been on my channel before, and this is the Dina Wakley Media Journal. This thing is so unique because it has a lot of different surfaces in it. It has watercolor paper, which this page and these pages are watercolor paper. It has burlap, very crazy, very unique. Back to watercolor paper, and then it has linen, which I painted on with casein, which you can see there. Back to watercolor paper, and it just goes through that whole array until you get to the end of the signature. Then you have some craft paper. So this one's just really fun because you have all these different surfaces you can work on. So if your artist likes mixed media, for example, and not just watercolor, this would be great. Although you can put watercolor ground on these other surfaces and use them with watercolor. So that might be an option too. Another gift to add would be some watercolor ground. But you have to be careful when you buy these. You have to make sure you buy the ones with the black cover, because the ones with the blue cover are just a single type of paper. And everything will be linked below so you don't have to get the wrong thing. Really, really fun journal. This one's about 8 by 10 or so. Speaking of surfaces, Lightwish is making some very exceptional looking sketchbooks that I think any artist would enjoy. This one here happens to have 300-pound paper. We pull it out of the wrapping. I think you can see that this paper is so thick. It's a delight for any artist to work on. Plus the 100% cotton is just an extra bonus. Did a little painting there on it. They also come in different colors with different clasp options, so they can look as fancy or as not fancy as you would like. But yes, the 300-pound is amazing. This one here is exactly the same thing, except the paper's lighter weight. If we open this one up, you can see the paper is much thinner. Same painting. Different weight paper, so it's a little bit more wavy. You can straighten that out. but it again is 100% cotton paper and quite delightful. Here's another option. This is one I bought myself, just a different cover option. It's the same 140-pound paper as the green one I just showed you, but definitely looks more fancy. And there's a lot of extra room in here, so your artist could put in their day planner or whatever in here as well. Traveler's notebook, something like that. Before we get off of the idea of sketchbooks, there's some really cool things now by Paul Rubens. Paul Rubens and Lightwish are sister companies, but check this out. These are little watercolor travel books. However, they're not just watercolor sketchbooks. They have 24 sheets of 100% cotton paper. This one happens to be their glitter paper, which is one of my favorite papers. It does flip open, so you could keep all the paper in here. I don't know if you can see the glitter in this or not, but it's just delightful. Special thing about this palette though is that it comes with this little watercolor palette that clips on. Isn't that absolutely delightful? 12 amazing colors for you to choose from. They left room in this hardcover where this can just clip on. So when you're using it, it's just open, some mixing space, and you're ready to paint. So this one is the smaller size. I'll hold it up next to my face so you can kind of get an idea of the size. 9.7 by 13.5 centimeters. Now this one is slightly bigger. If I hold them side by side, you can see that. However, it does still have the same watercolor palette in it. It's such a great size for bringing with you. You don't need a lot of watercolor. Watercolor goes far. So a tiny bit of watercolor, and this is more than just a tiny bit. It is a significant amount considering how small this little palette is, but a much bigger piece of paper. So you can also just pull this off and clip it up there if you wanted to work in landscape orientation. And you could use both sides of this little pad of paper if you want. It's just really cool that this is just part of it. This one is 13.5 by 19.5 centimeters. And if I hold them up side by side, that's what we have. I love these. I can't wait to start using them. I bought the little one first because I didn't realize it came in a bigger size. So then I went back and bought the bigger size. On to more sketchbooks. Now this one is one I have shown in previous gift guides because I love it so much. It holds the water pen and a fine liner, everything you need for sketching outdoors. It will hold these color sheets, and it comes with these color sheets. These are extremely vibrant watercolors. They're concentrated down to this piece of paper, so they're very flat. You can see, really easy to put into this palette. There's also an eraser, and I stick a pencil in here because there's plenty of room for it like that. And I have an extra sketchbook in here. It comes with a hot press watercolor sketchbook, which I have given away to my daughter-in-law, but I did have one sheet painted on it. But you can put your own sketchbook in here, and it goes inside of this flap. So the back cover of that sketchbook goes inside this flap. But I added this additional sketchbook in there, and I can still shut it. It's great. If you ever have trouble shutting it, you can actually just tuck that in that way and pull this band around the backside, so you can make this as thick as you can get away with, which is pretty thick. Anyway, this is the A6 size. I love this size. But they did come out with some bigger sizes. These are A5s. This is the cork one. I haven't used these yet. I kept waiting. Waiting for what? I don't know. They have little scent sticks in them, so if you like the sensory experience, you could light one of those. And I'm not smelling a whole lot of smell just on its own right now, but if you're sensitive to smells, I guess that's something to think about. There's some stickers and the same color sheets in here, plus room for an extra pencil, plus the fine liner and the water brush. These happen to come with activity books, which are just watercolor coloring books instead of the blank sketchbook, but you can use the back side of each of these to do your own sketching, which is great. So the cork one, you can see, is open around the edges, just like the small one is. Okay, if you want a more enclosed system, you'll use this one. This one is really nice color. It's like a canvas, some kind of material. Zips all the way around, which you just saw. Same thing inside though. Liner, water brush, room for a pencil and eraser. You could actually stick a little palette like this one that I just showed you from the Paul Rubens sketchbook into it, and it would all still shut just fine. no problem. This one's big enough that you could probably put a much bigger palette into and get away with that. There are, I believe, 3 different of these activity books you can choose from. So I actually prefer this one that zips all the way around. I think that it will just help keep things contained. Before we move off of sketchbooks and surfaces, there's this large package here from Lightwish. They sent me another one of their sketchbooks here, and you can see this one looks more like leather. It's just slightly different than those other 2. This one has the very thick paper in it, but it came with their calendar. And I know Lindsay, the Frugal Crafters, had a lot of fun each month painting the 2025 calendar with her viewers. And here we have the 2026 calendar, so maybe I'll try and do that with my viewers live too. We'll see, I don't know. And in the box here is a ceramic palette kit, which is one of their new releases that they're very excited about. I haven't even opened it, but I know what it is. And it comes very well packaged. Look at the packaging. That's such a nice presentation. Okay, now in all of this delightful packaging, which is opening a present in and of itself. How fun is that? We have a ceramic brush rest. The idea of this is when you have a wet brush, you can lay it across here and it just keeps the tip off your desk, or if you have paint in it still, you just keep the tip off your desk. We have the water dish, which has the little divot in it to keep your brush from rolling off in case you put it on the top. I put mine on the top of my water jars all the time, so I like having that thing that keeps it from rolling off. And I think it's the best piece anyway, just because I like these kind of things. The ceramic palette. These are so lovely. So you could put your watercolor out into these slots here and have all this mixing space here. It is great. It's so cute, the little confetti. I really like it. It's a pretty decent size. Not bad. While we're talking about ceramic palettes, I would be remiss if I didn't mention the Meeden products. They have so many amazing ceramic palettes too. You can see I have used it. It's a little bit watercolory still, but they have a huge selection too, so definitely check out their website. I'll link it below as well. They make a lot of art supplies and tools like palettes, easels, things like that to make your art practice easier, so very fun. Either company is going to be pretty awesome products. One thing before we get completely onto palettes, even though we've kind of already gone there, is this adorable little thing and this company. This little sketchbook is made from poo. It's called poo poo paper. And this happens to be made with moose poo and other fibers. Obviously they can't make paper with just poo. But it's just a fun, unique gift that your artist has probably never seen before in their life, and they'll find it amusing and they'll find it interesting. Plus the texture of the paper is really unique, and I can't wait to start painting on this. I just have so many sketchbooks in progress that I haven't dug into this one yet, but they have different sizes, and I noticed that the moose poo paper is not on their website, but they have many other animals like cow and deer and so on. I'll show you the web page here on the screen, but yeah, just a unique gift. Poo poo paper. Who knew? All right, some unique palettes you might want to look into. Arts to Embers makes custom palettes for different types of watercolor. This happens to be one that was created for the Kuretake Gansei Tambi watercolors, and it came with this swatch sheet, which I filled in myself once I figured out what colors I want to put in here. And I could tape these pans in here, but so far I haven't. I've just set them in here because it closes nicely. I haven't had any trouble with them, and I have traveled with them before. This palette happens to hold 18 colors. He has bigger ones, he has smaller ones. I think that his products are really fun, and he has the ceramic insert here. So when you mix your watercolor on here, it doesn't bead up, which your artist will love. Lots of different options. He makes magnetized things, just all kinds of custom things for watercolors that you will very much enjoy. Also, something that I have definitely wanted but don't own, so I can't show you except for on the screen here, is Alchemist X's website. They make a lot of unique palettes too, and they have some Christmas themed ones right now. One I really want. Probably should buy for myself, but I'm not going to. I'll be good. And I'll do it after Christmas when the cute little green and red ones aren't available anymore. But anyway, Arts to Embers or the Alchemist X, they are both super fun, unique palettes that I think your artist would very much enjoy, because I've been painting for years and years and I'm enthralled. Okay, I'm a little bit ridiculously excited about this next item. I was so excited to have found this. These are Mungio's Compuzzle palettes. They are amazing. So I have seen the art toolkit palettes all over the internet. Seeing a lot of professional artists using them, but what I didn't like about them is when you open them up, the lid doesn't lay flat. So these are completely different story. They lay flat on the table. So nothing, no part of this palette is lifted. And these are modular, just like the Art Toolkit palettes, and they have different pan sizes, as you can see. So this is the small one. This is the next size up. Aren't they gorgeous? They have a push closure and open system, and even the lid can be configured to different size mixing spaces. You could add more pans in there if you want. Here are the 3 different pan sizes. This size, and that size. And you can configure them however you want by buying these little packets with extra pans in them. And I wasn't sure what I would want, so I bought a lot of this size, which I realize now is probably good, because I filled one of them here with gouache. And I see it's cracked a little bit, but this took 2 half pans of liquid gouache. I mixed the gouache with a special blend I'll tell you about when I get to that video. And I had to fill the half pan twice to fill this little pan. So it holds a lot of paint. And here I thought these big sizes here would be perfect, but I think they're going to hold more paint probably than I want to put in them. So there's that. But you can get the extra big mixing spaces here. So if you end up with a lot of paint already in your palette, you could add one of these down here and have more mixing space than you even know what to do with. And even this part is covered, so you can mix right on there if you don't want to keep this separate. This gives me options, because if I don't like the colors, I can just pull out a pan and switch it for another color. And I really just love that it lays flat on the desk here. You can see when it's opened, it's completely flat on the bottom. So I was so excited to find these. I can only find them so far in one place, that is Jerry's Artorama online. So I'll link that. They don't have an affiliate program. It's just a lot of these don't. I'll just link them anyway, because I want you to find them. This is the coolest gift ever. Your artist will like this. And I'm thinking this one can be my studio palette perhaps, except have a lot of other options for studio palettes. But that's the idea, is I could pull out just one really good palette and use it however I like. You could put these in the other direction. I mean, this is just way too cool. I can't wait to get into these. The fact that I've had to put this off because I've had other projects has been driving me crazy. And they do come in quite nice packaging too. Look at this. This is quite nice, right? So Mungio Compuzzle, probably the most exciting item I have here, except maybe the poo-poo paper. Back to a Light Wish, another cute little palette that they have is this one here. You could bring some extra colors with you and switch them out, but it comes with a water cup. And I have shown this on my channel, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. But little mixing trays, you can see the watercolor did not bead up on these mixing trays. So that is great. It came with 12 colors, and it's a really nice size. It's a nice size when it's folded out because of all the mixing space. And it's a lovely size folded up because it's very easy to take with you. So easy. And you can either use it in this little hard case or not, and you can have this with it or not. A great suggestion someone made to me was to use this plastic case for paper cut this size, and it could be your little easel, and you could use this to paint on this size paper. This would probably fit quite a few sheets of paper, 10, 15 sheets. I might have to try that here sooner rather than later. Arrtx also is creating some amazing new unique things. They're doing a lot of collaborations with artists. which I will show you in just a minute, and that's kind of the gold here for Arrtx right now. However, they do make a lot of fun things. There's a lot of them available on their website. Some you have to be connected to their Facebook or Instagram because they are special releases that you have to pre-sign up to get. But like this one here is a little pocket palette, and when you open it up, it holds 7 half pans, and it has room for mixing space up here. It's magnetized, if you couldn't tell, plus a couple of different mixing options so that hopefully you don't run out of mixing space. This plastic palette comes in a few different colors, and it's also meant to hold their little mini palette, which is a ceramic palette. This one's super fun too. This one comes in the tin, and again, it's ceramic, but the big magnets that this comes with are meant to go on the bottom of this, and then these actually can fit right inside of here. So Arrtx is coming out with some pretty cool things. I love this. Arrtx come out with some unique size sketchbooks, and their sketchbooks are amazing because they are 100% cotton, and they're good 100% cotton. They're not the 100% cotton you find on Amazon, no. Those are sometimes really frustrating. These are amazing. So this happens to be the 2-inch size, which is great for small painting. I love it. The paper in this is 230 GSM, which is the same as the paper in their everyday sketchbook. And who wouldn't be delighted to receive such a cute small package? Look at this thing. It's so cute. So this sketchbook happens to be included in one of their collaborations here. This collaboration is with Zach Jackson, the Arts to Embers owner, who did the Kiritaki palette I showed you. If we open this thing up, this is very unique, and Arrtx coming out with all kinds of artist collaborations. This one has one of Zach's unique palettes here, but this one happens to hold the little 2-inch sketchbook that I just showed you. It would go right in there if it weren't in the plastic still. And a travel brush is meant to fit right here, as well as the 9 half pans, and you can pull the half pan thing out. You could buy these inserts and switch your colors, or just pull the half pans out of the half pan insert and switch your colors. And this came in a lot of different color choices. I chose this pretty blue here. It came in purple and orange and gray and white, I believe. There's probably other colors too, I don't remember. Travel brush is a round too, so you can paint in that tiny little sketchbook really easily. And when that's not in its plastic, it just stays in your palette with all these mixing spaces. And that's all you have to take with you, and some water. I love it. It's the cutest little thing. So definitely check out any of Arrtx's artist collaborations. They do start to release some of these products on their website once the campaign is ended and it's a go. So sometimes you can still find these, otherwise just get connected to their Instagram or their Facebook account. I've linked their website below. I don't have any affiliation with them other than loving almost all of their products, and have a look around and see what cool things like this that you can find. I would be remiss in not at least mentioning some coloring book options, even though they're in all my previous gift guides, which I've linked and you can watch, and you should watch because everything in them is amazing. But I have to show you a few of them. Paul Rubens has these coloring pages they just released this year. These are all roses, and it's on their cotton paper. It's hot press paper. It is just really cool because you can paint roses to your heart's content, but you don't have to draw them. I also love any and all of Dana Fox's books. The paper is not cotton or anything like that, but it is still really fun to have these activities. The drawings are already done for you, and then you add the paint, and she gives you the instructions and what colors to use and so on. So this one is just nice. Here's another one that I've painted. So there's in the jungle, in the ocean, and in the forest. They're all lovely. And the ocean and forest ones are twice as thick as this one. And Lightwish has some coloring books. It's 100% cotton, but it is hot press paper, so a little bit smoother than cold press paper, obviously, but still has more texture than some hot press paper that I have used. And then there are my coloring books. This one is made with 100% cotton paper, and it is my little kitty character. Here's a couple that I have painted in here. Here's a couple unpainted. Just some fun scenes. This is one of my favorite scenes, actually. This one. Okay, I like every one that I chose in here. That's why they're in here. So this paper is an absolute delight to work on. You can paint on both sides of it. I love this one. You can find this on my website. And then I have a cardstock version too. If your artist is a marker artist or colored pencil or I don't know, some other thing that cardstock works really well for, then I have this version available. And here is something I did with colored pencils. Another colored pencil. This is alcohol markers. You can see they do bleed through, so you just have to protect the side underneath. But since this one is single-sided, it is kind of meant for markers. This one is the paper-friendly markers I showed in the beginning of this video. Anyway, those are available on my website. Any book by Joanna Basford is going to be delightful. There'll be coloring or drawing and coloring books. So a great combination. I haven't used this one yet. These are kind of interesting. This is Sarah Simon, the Mint Gardener. She has these beginner-friendly books, goes through some activities, and then again, the paintings in here are already drawn, so your artist can just start painting them without having to do the drawing process. And here's one that I have painted, and the paper is just so-so, but it's still fun. She has several different versions. I chose this one. Sakuum's over on Etsy has some watercolor coloring books that are all these like fanciful ladies. I haven't finished some of these, but I have started some of them. Lots of fun options there, but I think the unique palettes are kind of the most exciting thing. Okay, I hope this video has been useful and that you found some really unique gift ideas for the artist in your life. If you have any other unique ideas, put that in the comments below so we can have a conversation about it. I would love to see what you think would be a unique gift for an artist. Okay, I will see you in the next video. Bye for now. Actually, I kind of like these a lot too. I kind of like everything here. That's probably why I compiled this video, because they're awesome things. Precious. Hey, cutie pie.
Hey, this is the dog you said you wanted, right?
Nah.